found AHO Radio. We're authentic human outliers coming together to help heal the fear of being authentic. To bring back genuine human conversation. No hype, no sensationalism, just honest talk about the critical issues affecting society, affecting humankind. And now, here are the hosts of AHO Radio, John Krotec and Bill Protzmann.
Sounds so dramatic, man.
Yeah, brother. I love it. Every time I hear those drums and your voice cueing it up, I'm like, holy cow, this is really cool. Yeah, so good to see you, Bill. How's it going, man?
John Krotec, it's a Friday, man. Great to see you. And great to be here sort of at the moment of reopening. That's happening in California anyway for us. Who knows what that means? I have no clue what that means.
Well, I don't think anybody does. It's definitely been an interesting 8 weeks of our lives, here, and it's been a global event. So we've been part of something much bigger than ourselves. I went to a neighborhood prayer meeting last night. My wife and I walked down with a couple about 6:30 at night. Day's still out. Here I am in my backyard, but we go down there and there's a couple hundred people there, and it was awesome. We got into groups of 10, we did the social distancing thing and we just prayed. Most of those people I didn't even know. It's a church that we don't regularly go to, but this couple friend of ours said, come on down, we'll go. They don't even go there. And what it reminded me about was how important it is to be kind to each other.
Oh, yeah.
And to try to have some type of mutual respect, to realize that people from all races, all religions, all nationalities, all states, all countries, that we're all the same. And that we've got this social thing we call humankind that we're all part of, that's important to each and every one of us in a significant way. And so the poem I want to read today is about kindness. And it's called Kindness Is Not Folly. Let me get it ready here. So here you go. At this stage, the revelations, numerous realizations come on thick. I understand. I get it now. I see things people wouldn't believe, like the subject of basic human goodness. Each of us has it. It's part of our genetic makeup, who we are, embedded deep within our DNA. If we don't see it in ourselves, we will never see it in others. Hence the reason for so much anger and hatred in the world, unrelenting animosities. So be nice to the devil. It might be an angel in disguise, testing us for an even greater purpose. Kiss the angels. Be wary, fret not if they are broken. There's no one to blame. It's not your fault. Part of the greater plan. So I've read things about chakras and energy levels and emotional states, and kindness is one of those ones where it takes less muscles in your face to smile and show a kind face than it does to be angry and show a mean face. But kindness elevates the spirit. It makes things lighter. It endears you to the people around you. And when I talk about unrelenting animosities, Bill, is that where we're kind of at right now?
I've got to back up to the other question that I had. It's kindness is folly, Folly, folly?
Yes.
So to me, right out of the gate, I'm
kindness
in the middle of this.
Kindness is not folly.
Kindness is not folly. Okay, good,
Right.
good. I want to get into that because there is a built-in tension in here around whether people are basically good or not. And you got to choose a side, right? You've got to say, okay, either people are basically good, and we should play to that in everything we do, from the personal interaction you have with your family to the larger interaction that you have in the world, or not. And if you decide people are not basically good, that puts you in a different place. You have to be less trusting, and it takes more work to push it all away. So why not take the easy road? At least that's what I hear you saying. Even if that means you're meeting your adversary, take the easy road.
Well, and see, that's the part, is that people don't realize the easy road is to be good. You know, if you look at all of the great spiritual traditions of the world, you know, if somebody slaps you, turn the other cheek, let them slap that one. If they steal your coat, let them have the whole wardrobe. You're going to be better off for it, because the peace is not about that kind of peace with them. It's the peace that you have inside. And even like Zen beliefs, and, you know, you look at, you know, Buddhist beliefs, and even core tenets of Christianity, Judaism, there is a basic belief, if you get really deep into those readings, that because we're created by this something much greater than ourselves, then we're part of that, you know, and that core feeling of goodness, each of us has it. But the question is, do you tap into it? And when you look at the human condition and all of the things that have happened to people everywhere, it's not too hard to figure out why we live in such a world with so much animus and hatred. And, you know, when I look at people like Gandhi and Muhammad and Jesus Christ, these luminaries, Bob Marley, you know, Bob Dylan, when I look at these, and I'm putting them up there, right? When I think about these luminaries and the messages that they give to us, if you take the time to listen, they're trying to extract that choice that you, Bill, just talked about. They're trying to extract your core. Who wants to kill people? Seriously. What human being wants to kill people at a core level? It's like the lowest vibration that you ever could imagine. I've never killed anybody, but I would imagine it would be pretty horrific. So I did an experiment, you know, last week. I went out and I put on a frown, went around, and I saw people's reactions to me. It wasn't positive. Some people turn the other way. You know me, man. I'm always like the social experimenter, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing okay. I did it on purpose to see the type of response I got. And what I felt coming back was negativity and increased animus. Then I went out one day, and it was on a different day, and I just tried. I'm going to be happy-go-lucky. I'm going to smile. I'm going to be friendly. It was phenomenal. And even the people that had sadness etched on their face, I was able to evoke a grin or a smile in their eyes or something. And so what? That's just one social experiment out of billions of people. But the point is that we can have a tremendous effect on ourselves if we tap into that basic goodness, on our immediate families. You know, imagine being stuck in a home with a significant other that you cannot stand.
Oh my gosh, that'd be the worst.
It would be like being in solitary in San Quentin, you know, with the anyhow. But imagine our families, and then your neighborhood, being nice to your neighbors, and then the community, and then it's exponential, you know. So I would throw the gauntlet down with this poem, and I would say, just like the title, and tell people, kindness is not folly. Being kind to others is not a waste of your time. It's only going to elevate a good feeling for those around you. You know, we've heard all the anecdotal sayings, you know, be kind, and, you know, kindness and gratitude, and it's all real. I mean, saying it's one thing. I think people say it so much they don't believe it anymore. You know, it becomes just a word. Gratitude and kindness, they're not just words. They're core values.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I know that we're going to be talking about a song that one of your episodes coming up, and we'll talk about that later. But, being kind is, to me, about being in this moment, the power of a moment. There's a book out there called The Power of Moments. It's by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. I don't even know if they're brothers, but they probably are. Could be father and son. I don't know. But it's a good book. And the book really is exactly that. How much power there is in the moments that you have. You choose, Bill, just like you said, there's this tension that I evoke with this poem. You choose the power of the moment you want to experience. And the other book I want to recommend is The Keys. This is by DJ Khaled. And DJ, it's another good book. I got the hard copies on this before I knew I could get soft copies at a much less expensive price. But DJ's thing is every single thing that you do in your life, you have the keys to unlock your own success. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be a co-host with you on AHO Radio and to be able to share my poetry, and also to be able to be kind and to be able to share books and to discuss the things that mean so much to our humanity. And one of my hashtags is Humankind Matters. It's one of our hashtags. It is. And humankind matters because would you rather live in a society or a neighborhood or a household where kindness is the norm, or the choice we talk about, Bill, would you rather live in a household or a community or a state or a country or whatever, a world where kindness isn't a core value? And so I keep hanging on to this one thread of hope that kindness still remains in the hearts and the minds of the women and men who share the physical life with me on this planet. And that's what keeps me going.
I hear the invitation, John, to see it in ourselves. Your line is to see it in ourselves. And that isn't easy to do a lot of the time. But if you can be kind to yourself, isn't like that's the start of it? Right there. Do something kind for yourself today,
I'm glad you said that. And I'll tell you why, man. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but one of the things that I had to go through when I was healing my traumatic brain injury was cognitive behavioral therapy, which had my roots to all my issues were in my self-esteem. And in my case, my poor self-esteem based on things that had happened to me in childhood and all those things that happened to lots of people. But she said, next time you have a night with insomnia, which was most of the time, 2:30 in the morning, she says, get up, go inside your bathroom, flick on the switch, look in the mirror, and look at that person staring back and tell that person how much you love them. Be kind to that person in the mirror. And I got to tell you, Bill, the first few times I did it, this is weird, man. And I'm being vulnerable here now, but I was all by myself. There was nobody around. The first few weeks that I was doing that, I literally would look around and pinch myself to see if I was actually doing this. And eventually what started to happen was I started forgiving myself for things that I had believed about myself, or for things that people had done to me, or just, it started to flow, man. And this self-forgiveness started to work. And then it leads to self-gratitude. And this isn't arrogance at all. This is about self-realization. Oh, and by the way, John, those of you who are listening, it's okay to be nice, but be nice to yourself first. And I'm glad you pointed that out because it's significant. You can't be nice to others if you harbor self-resentment. And that's a deep statement, because most people that I run into that are not friendly people, that have this low vibrational state, in conversation, I can usually pin it back to something else, something that they've gone through in their life. It's just like, road rage. Somebody gets in front of you and they slow down and you're in a rush to get to work. How do you know that person's not going through something major? Or somebody that passes you, take a look at everything in its entirety, spread some kindness. And I'll be the first to admit, I have given somebody the finger on the road, on the interstate at various times in my life. Mr. Tough Guy, riding in a 2,000-pound vehicle, flipping people off. Are you kidding me? And usually what that did was it made the other person more PO'd than I was. Then they're flipping me off. And the next thing you know, we meet each other light and they're cussing, come on. But if somebody takes the time to let somebody in traffic, you want to pass me and haul rear end down the interstate, do it. Or you want to cut me off. And it's harder. It's easier said than done. Take that moment.
Yeah.
The power of moments.
Stay present.
And put yourself in a happy place. So I'm in a happy place. That doesn't mean 2 hours from now I'm in an unhappy place. But I am going to try my hardest to be as happy as I can be in my life, and kind, which is all those things, and grateful, as much as I can be from here on out. And I heard the shortest prayer ever in my life last night at this global prayer meeting. If you can say, thank you, God. 3 words. Thank you, God. All day long, whatever your concept of God is, something bigger than you, called humility here, all day long, then that's the best prayer and the best attitude that you could ever happen. So the next time a mean, ornery person that's having a bad day comes into your area of operations, your area, your aura, thank God for that experience, because you're going to learn more about yourself by handling it in a kind way. So thank you very much, Bill. It's been anything you want to ask me, man? Before
yeah. Because now we have this context. What I want to ask, and we'll go out on this, but would you read it again?
I will.
Because I want to hear it. I find myself wanting to hear the poem again in the context of our conversation right now.
Absolutely. And it's my pleasure, man. I'm your co-host. I'm here for our show, and I'm here for the conversation. So here you go. Kindness is not folly. At this stage, the revelations, numerous realizations come on thick. I understand. I get it now. I see things people wouldn't believe, like the subject of basic goodness. Each of us has it. It's part of our genetic makeup, who we are, embedded deep within our DNA. If we don't see it in ourselves, we will never see it in others. Hence the reason for so much anger, hatred in the world, unrelenting animosities. So be nice to the devil. It might be an angel in disguise, testing us for an even greater purpose. Kiss the angels. Be wary. Fret not if they are broken. There's no one to blame. It's not your fault. Part of a greater plan. There you have it.
Thanks, brother. The poem is...
Be kind. Yeah.
Kindness is not folly, John Krotec. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Be kind, brother. Be grateful. You know where we're at.
We'll do our best. That's what it's really about, is you do the best you can and just, love the life we're living. And hey, for me, I'm going to vote kindness. Kindness is amazing, man.
AHO, brother.
AHO.
You know me, man. I'm all about kindness.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of AHO Radio. Information we mentioned is probably in the show notes, but if we missed anything, please let us know and we'll get it added for you. Subscribe to the AHO Radio channel on YouTube to stay connected, and, as always, we wish you health, success, and significance. AHO!